because this is your invitation. Let's Texas.
Canada, it's time for more us. More of our attitude. More grit. Go and we got this. More of the true north. Unbreakable, strong, and free.
The Cashmere logo has long stood for softness and strength. But it's another symbol on our pack that stands for something more. Soft, strong, and Canadian all of it.
One of the topics coming into this tournament for Canada, how would Tom Wilson's game translate in an international setting? Here he was during warm-ups, paroling the red line, all eyes towards the opposite end of the ring, sizing up the checks. But in the early moments of the first period here this afternoon, it was Nathan MacKinnon and Connor McDavid lowering the boot. John Cooper said the other day he thinks Team Canada can intimidate with skill and physicality. Maybe we just didn't see the skill being the ones initiating physicality here in this one so far.
Everybody was worried about Tom Wilson. Got to worry about Connor McDavid, who you, I mean, it's not a scoop, but you are getting a bird's eye view.
What's up, everybody?
The speed bursts are something to behold, aren't they?
We know he's the fastest already, but he's even faster than everyone else. In 6 minutes, he is flying by guys. His own team, check players, whatever, he is at another level to start the game with his pace.
I'm in chemistry right now. We're watching the Canadian hockey game
Pulls back.
for the Olympics.
Sends that off the inboards.
This year,
Twist away from Josh Morrissey, who arrived at the rink.
This
Was so simple. He had to take him back to the hotel. He had Joel even watching. Unfortunate turn of events for Morrissey, who was excited to be here for this one. That's in the glove of Binnington. Nobody knew where it was.
See you, dude.
Team Czechia knew that Canada would be driving pace early, so Coach Ron Rudlick, who is pretty
Appreciate
stern
that,
behind the
Max.
bench, he is gets into his team's ears. Got
I'm gonna do it at the end of the month.
Andre Pavlik all the way down at the end as well, the goalie coach. Want to play that?
I appreciate this kid, 18. How's everybody doing?
On a lot of benches, that shot for the point. Turned aside by Binnington. Right wide it goes. Here's McKinnon working his way in. Drops Suzuki with the shot into a stall. Will cover up.
I appreciate all this support. I'm doing good, everyone.
Against Team Canada and give them a full head of steam and a little space. It's going to be really hard to hold it. So John Cooper, who doesn't want his team to play defensive. He doesn't want to win the same way they won in 2014. He wants his best players to attack, be creative.
I'm gonna do it at the end of the month, okay, dude?
Skill, not the structure and defense.
And we won't question the results from 2014, but it was not an artistic success. This has the potential to be something special. Here's a chance. McKinnon in. Scores!
They're going to call a penalty on Suzuki.
They're going to wash it out.
They're going to call a hook on Suzuki before the goal was scored.
I appreciate the sub. Thank you, guys.
Tripping.
And Kyle Holm from Sweden makes the call that takes the opening Team Canada goal off the board.
Suzuki was tracking down the puck after Binnington moves it up the ice on Ruta, and he crossed over on the stick. I thought he was going to get the hook for the turnover. So I suppose that's a trip, but it's inconsequential to the play, and that's why most team players let him go.
Appreciate all the subs, guys.
Attacking. Horvat with a backhand right on. So Horvat and Hagel will start.
Hey, that's cool. No, that's cool, chat.
Report for duty with likely
I am still watching hockey game.
Kill for Team Canada. Fired across and back to Herodic. one-timer, Pasternak, that's blocked and cleared by McCarr. Pasternak hurdle. Out there as to the attack goes Natchez. Moronic sends it over. That touch pass for Hurdle, spins, and a redirect bounced off a defender, and Pennington had to be sharp on
I'm
that.
at school, Chad.
That gets away from Natchez and fired down by Pareko.
Pretty good puck tracking from Jordan Pennington. Spot now on broken play on the blocker side.
Spot check out there on the second power play for Czechia, along with Dominic Kubalik, one of the top scorers in the Swiss League. We're back with a Buckball spot check. Kubalik trying to work it back there. Horvat comes up with it, and he'll clear. Half a minute to go in the Suzuki penalty.
Oh,
Canada trying to avoid the double whammy of having a goal watched out and a power play goal scored here by the Czechs. Trying to get it to Chermenka. The veteran Chermenka, the oldest player in the tournament. At 40 years of age, and the puck rolls back into the Czech zone.
I'm watching.
Canada with the kill, teams 0 for 1, a couple of shots for Czechia on their
the
first
Olympics.
power play. And now McDavid comes out with Wilson and Celebrini. Celebrini, the youngest NHL Olympian ever for Team Canada at 19. Eric Lindros was just about to turn 19 in 92. Oh, there's the first big Tom Wilson hit. Kirk Muller, the youngest to play for Team Canada, 18 in 1984.
Chad,
Natchez,
you guys are.
David Camp. And he takes a puck from Downey. Downey ties.
I appreciate that.
Run over by Hurdle. Here's Hurdle. Powering in front to the backhand. That Goodington had to be alert on. So it's getting wrapped up here. First period. Tom Wilson on the hit board.
As Canada stares down.
With 4 video calls to her son during the game and 3 highlight reels shared on her Mamacita's group chat, our first star of the game, Maria.
I'd like to thank my network.
Trust Bell 5G to connect you to Team Canada. We've come a long, long way together.
I'm using Bell too.
Our games.
When you play the lottery with OLG, you sponsor Ontario athletes. Your play supports Ontario athletes.
Winner, Daniel.
I'm not doing that, bro.
Well, back in Pittsburgh for years, it's been Crosby walking out onto the ice, second last of getting Malkin last. We learned during the Four Nations last year as Crosby who asked Mitch Marner to play the de facto Malkin role and going last for Canada. Should we be surprised at all that that has carried over here to Milan for the Olympics? Marner following or going behind Crosby, both for the warm-ups and the start of the game here against Czechia, Chris.
Whatever the captain says, and
Thank
he
you guys
got
for
the
subscribing.
excursion into downtown Milan a couple of nights ago to see the sights, a little team bonding.
You can get a sense around the Olympic Games that Sidney Crosby's not just one of the biggest stars in the hockey competition, but all competitions. He draws a reaction everywhere he goes from all the athletes from all the countries.
Brandon Hagel's on the puck. Just past the midway mark of the opening period. Waiting for the first goal of the game that Nathan MacKinnon thought he had. Shea Theodore sends it around. Hagel gets there first. Bumps that to Suzuki. MacKinnon will chop it back to his teammate Taves. That bounce just wide. Suzuki on the prowl retrieval, but it's the Czechs who work it out. Veronica didn't get to the red line, so that's easy. Like you pointed that out yesterday, they call it very tight, nothing in the neighborhood here on the icing calls internationally.
Chance for Canada to get a fresh line out there. Nick Suzuki was right in front of the net for Dostal. And it seems the clear message for Team Canada is get into the eyesight of Lucas Dostal. 5-on-5 and 5-on-4. They've been doing it. Should mention the last break.
Crosby, thank you for
Suzuki
the
went and spoke with the
Kumba, thank you for the
referee who called that penalty. A little discussion about how it unfolded. Knocked down at center by Pasternak. Knocked away from him. Marner turns it back. Crosby tried to go right wide and it deflects right onto Dostal.
If you're the Czech team, you're happy how this first period is sorted out. It's still 0-0. Shots are relatively even. Well, I take it the first initial frenetic push for Canada. And Dostal looks like he's locked in like he has been in the NHL.
Mark Stone with the puck. What a season he's had. Missed a lot of action, but he's played 41 games. He's on a 120-point pace. Spacek tried to fire that around, knocked down by Crosby. And now Spacek to center. As Dan Yarrow played in 3 Olympic Games. So total is down. He's out there now. Harley up the boards. That's going to roll. 198 feet, I guess. Icing call.
Short tournaments, goaltenders are always part of the conversation for Canada as well as for Czechia. Dostal has come into the Olympics about as hot as any goalie in the league. His last 9 starts, look at those numbers. And consistent, 3 or fewer in every single game, and that's behind Anaheim, which is not airtight defensively. So he is on top of his game.
He had to be that good to get the start because Karel Vejmelka is tied for the league lead in wins with Andrei Vasilevsky. 27 wins, and that doesn't get you a start at the Olympics.
Doesn't get you a backup job. Vladar is backing up tonight.
So that might indicate
maybe resting Vejmelka for the next game.
McDavid just failed to get loose there. Right around off Kubalik.
I appreciate this.
Morrissey back to get it. Stransky on his tail. Morrissey up on the right wing. Wilson hands it off to McDavid. Trying to slice through. Unable to do so. Set around where Stransky is met. Here's Celebrity getting it to McDavid. Up the boards, and there's a play there by Theodore to come up with it. Shea Theodore suffered a broken wrist in the first period of the first game of Four Nations, effectively ending his season. There's Reinhardt stepping into a man. Natchez ranked wide for Hurdle. Around it goes. Makar chopped at it. Got it ahead for Reinhardt. Sam Reinhardt for Marchand. Great pass.
Yeah, I'm not going
There's
to
a chance.
do it right now.
Just
It's at the
missed.
end of the month.
Theodore sends it back behind the net. Centered. Marchand. And he was unable to finish. Comes back to Makar. Hooked that back into the corner. Horvat after it there. Now it comes up for Pasternak. Marty Natchez on the move. Sweeping in and off the stick of Bennington. Up off the glass, brought down by Natchez. Pasternak across and a backdoor pass. Well defended there by Makar. Czech fans like that last push. Along the boards and Suzuki. Oh, that one off Bennington and sitting in the goal mouth for a moment.
That caught Pareko on the rebound and almost went in behind Bennington.
Here's Suzuki, dropped off. McKinnon in flight. Here's McKinnon back to the attack. Looks across for Suzuki. Off the side of the cage. And sent back inside the Team Canada line. McKinnon can't get that to the net. Rodick sends it around. Washington.
Where's that back, buddy?
Trebeka ahead. Here comes Sedlak, and he fanned on the shot. Working against Doughty. Doughty ties him up along the boards. Suzuki helps out. Now Harley trying to get it to Crosby. Back to Harley, who tried to one-hand that to Doughty. They'll reverse it. Now they've got a little more time and space. Catch retreat on a cheat. Harley was called upon to join the Four Nations team after the injury to Theodore. What a performance. He came in and provided a relief. In behind the net it goes. A centering pass by Marner. Taves. Stone. Makar. Right on. Dropped by Dostal. Puck left in front. And turned out off Kubalik.
Crosby's not happy about that tangle up in front. Barkin.
Makar sends it back in. McDavid looks for it. Following up Wilson. McDavid from the corner. Around it goes, and arriving here is Parayko. Tom Wilson swings it back. Celebrini's on it. Macklin Celebrini, fourth in NHL scoring at 19 years of age. He'll swing it back. It'll reach Wilson. Wilson turns. Back to the line, and that gave Morrissey trouble. Back in, McDavid had cleared. Offside called at Celebrini, and the veteran Michael Kempny get their sticks up. Kempny 35, Celebrini 19, and earlier an attack by Natchez and a good Binnington stick.
Muscle and joint pain this winter? Rub A535 provides fast-acting pain relief that keeps up with life in Canada. Because shoveling snow is practically our official winter sport. Rub A535. Canadian relief for Canadian pains.
We put Mark at center. Alex and Connor gonna go up and down all game long, and we got Casey posted up in the office.
But if everyone's scattered around the house, that's gonna slow down the game.
Not with their Wi-Fi.
Connect to Team Canada on Bell Pure Fiber.
In Canada, we look out for each other. We build. We protect. We get the job done. Canada's public service is the thread that binds, keeping families safe, keeping our borders strong, and supporting our most vulnerable. A strong Canada means a place to thrive. But when our economy, our security, and even our sovereignty are on the line, we fight back. For you, Canada.
Cale Makar, Calgary, Alberta, Canada's most important defenseman in these Olympics. Power play, penalty kill, 5-on-5. Here he was on the PK earlier, wearing that one-time shot from David Pastrnak of Czechia. You see him wincing on the bench a little bit. He has not missed a shift since, but anytime Makar lays out to block a shot, Canada holding its collective breath.
26-41 of ice time in Four Nations. Kind of went through that tournament with a bit of a sickness, so not 100%, just under 5 minutes of ice time so far tonight for the two-time Norris Trophy winner. Sort of what we expected, Mike, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, back and forth, and Czechia doing a really good job of taking hits and making plays in their own end below the goal line. They keep getting pounded, but they keep moving back there, taking the hit, getting the puck out.
Thomas Harley at the wheel. Red line ahead. Marchand trying to duck under a check from Shimmick. That puck played ahead, and Pastrnak at center. Bennett closing down on him. A couple of shifts in first period for Bennett. It's the all-Panther line here. Marchand, Reinhardt, and Bennett. Bennett stepping in there to try and get it back, but the checks are out. Into the skates of Pasternak. He's going to stay out there. Thought he might be heading off with his line mates, but he'll stay out. Hagel got run over by Radko Gudas. Here's the centering play and sweeping that stick across with Binnington.
He's done that a few times, been aggressive with the poke check of some kind.
Well, Pasternak had Hagel running up, and Brandon Hagel just got out of the way.
Sidney Crosby, the captain, the other statesman on Team Canada, doesn't usually complain about that so much. Like, that's a pretty good pitchfork from Ruda on Crosby. He's not happy about that. Yelled during the play, during the commercial break, went over to Mikhail Holm, tried to get an explanation. Don't know if he liked it, but he at least had a conversation with it.
It's going to look like a hit, but at the end of it, so 2 minutes remaining here in the opening period. Radko Gudas with 147 hits on the season so far. He's led the league in that department more than once. Michael Kempney hits it back at the line, shooting, rebound in front, Binnington down, and covers.
David Kemp had a wide open net if his stick was 1 inch longer. He rolls over to the weak side on the Kempney shot. He's not really tied up by McKinnon. He just is pushed fractionally out of the way, and then the time he gets the puck, Binnington makes a pretty great save with the glove. But the first puck was right in there, and then eventually a diving glove grab for Binnington. Keep Chucky off the board.
And going alongside his childhood friend, Andre Kasha. See Kasha still playing, had to leave the NHL with concussion problems. That turned aside by Binnington on another shot. It escaped and glanced wide. Little pressure coming from Camp, Kasha, and Andre Palat.
Oh, Horvat was out there for the face-off kickoff. Well, he did not win the draw. John Cooper late in the period going to the face-off experts in the defensive zone.
And the Crosby line comes out on a change. Just Sedlak sends it in. He ends up getting there first. It'll be played back to the line. Jan Ruda. That ball wide, and Crosby will look up ice. Rink wide, Stone fires it in from center. After it goes Marner. A couple of Golden Knights flanking Sidney Crosby. 1 minute to go in the period. Trebeka spins out. Branko on the move. And they'll give him the red line as he sends it in. Crosby works the boards against Ruda. Cycled back by Stone. Here's Crosby. Ruda on him. Back to Theodore and Doughty. And a shot by Marner well wide. So Theodore has been worked in as the 7th man. John Cooper doesn't want guys sitting. And has done a nice job with Theodore and Bennett, the extra forward and defenseman so far. Here's a puck loose and played wide of the net. Looking for the stick of Stransky. McDavid chasing after it. Knocked away. McDavid on it. Pass behind Wilson. Here's a Makar shot. Scores! Tail! Makar with 5.7 remaining in the period.
I think Celebrini got a piece. The youngster on the tip. Just out right away, calling for a high stick review. How long does he take a look at it? As Matthew Celebrini's family celebrates, but that one from here looked below the crossbar.
How about that? 19 years of age.
I don't know. Definitely touches it.
No stone called immediately. Better look at it here. That looks good.
Yep. Now, it might take a minute to get to because all the different angles, but that one's good. And late in the period, Macklin Celebrini. What a moment.
Wow. Kinnon's goal washed out, but not Celebrini on the tip. Makar and McDavid the assists, and the period done on a goal at 1954. remarkable season of Macklin Celebrini gets even better. Shots on goal, even at 11 apiece, but the final shot deflected past Dostal. It's a Team Canada lead, and the Celebrini family celebrates.